Yeah, so amino acids consist of a carboxylic group, which is like COH, an amino group, which is like NH2. They also have a hydrogen bond. Also, they have an R group. Now, this R group can change, it's variable. So it is what decides whether it's going to be acidic, basic, or even neutral, or like something else. So if the R group, no, before we get into that, there's something that we need to go over before that. Well, you see, the carboxylic group is acidic in nature. That's something that you need to know. It's just a fact. And the what did you say? Did you say acidic or basic? No, bad. So the carboxylic group is acidic in nature, but the amino group is basic in nature. What this means is that if you have relatively more amino groups, then the amino acid is going to be basic. But if you have relatively more, like comparatively more carboxylic groups, then it's definitely going to be not acidic because carboxylic groups are acidic in nature. So that's something you need to know. It will just make it a lot easier for you to memorize things and just conceptual. You can still mark things up if you're not into conceptual stuff and like knowing things conceptually. So that's up to you. Now, if the R group has an additional amino group, then it's bound to be basic, which is something I just went over a while ago, because it's going to have more amino groups. That's why it's gonna be basic in nature. So it has more amino groups. It's gonna be more basic. It's gonna be basic in nature. So examples of amino acids that are basic in nature would be lysine. Lysine is basic in nature. And there was two more, but I don't remember. Maybe they're not in the theory. My bad. I'll go over them later. My bad. I should have looked them up before recording. Okay, so now we have now I'm gonna explain. What was I gonna explain? I forgot. Oh yeah, now we're gonna talk about acidic amino acids. Now, acidic amino acids are definitely going to have an additional carboxylic group in their R group. Now they have an additional carboxylic thingy in their R group. Now since they have more, like relatively more carboxylic groups, they're going to be acidic because a carboxylic group is like a carboxylic group is like always acidic in nature. Since you have relatively more carboxylic groups compared to the amount of like amino groups, it's going to be acidic in nature. Examples of what is it called? Yeah, examples of acidic amino acids would be glutamic acid. Glutamic acid is acidic in nature. It's because it had an additional carboxylic group in the R group. It's because of the additional carboxylic thingy that it is acidic in nature. All right. And now this is something we need to go over. You know that if it no. So you know that the amino group is basic, but the carboxylic group is acidic. So if we take this into account and talk about neutral amino acids, we realize that neutral amino acids are bound to have one amino group and one carboxylic group because this will mean that they'll have the same number of acidic and basic groups. One amino group, one carboxylic group. So that's like one basic group and one acidic group, respectively. So in the case of neutral amino acids, the R group is not going to have an amino group or a carboxylic group. It's just not going to have a basic or an acidic group. That's what I'm trying to get to. So it will neither have an amino group nor a carboxylic group. So it's just going to have a hydrogen group, or like in the case of neutral acid, it's just going to have a hydrogen group or a methyl group. That's what is written in the in theory. That's what it is based on what's in the in theory. So based on the in theory, that is the case. So yeah, examples like if you have one basic group, one acidic group, they're going to neutralize each other. So it's going to be neutral. That's just gonna happen no matter what you do. It's just like a given thing. So yeah, examples of neutral amino acids would be alanine. Alanine is indeed a neutral amino acid because its R group has a methyl, which is neither acidic nor basic, which so it's not ideal relatively more acidic or basic groups. That's why it's neutral nature. So it's all about the relative amount of acidic and basic groups. Group of glycine is indeed a hydrogen, as I just said a while ago. So it's going to be neutral as well. And there's also valine, it's also written in the theory. Now, I don't know what its R group is, but it's definitely not acidic or basic. You know that's not going to be acidic or basic because that's why it's neutral, because it has one acidic group, one amino group, which is already there, which has always been there, and one basic group, which this isn't going well.